guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Got a very, very special guest here, John and Stacey Eldredge. Two guests, that's right, two very special guests. And we want to talk about marriage and really, and from a couple who, first of all, have been married for 35 years, but a couple who have also helped mentor and counsel thousands, I would imagine, couples through marriage and the struggles of marriage. And I think we can all agree marriage can be really, really difficult and can be really tough. And so just want to get you guys some words of wisdom, the purpose maybe behind marriage, and what kind of your vision, how you help couples and how you would explain marriage to people out there.
I think the first thing I want to say is this is about the heart. A lot of the stuff out there that's trying to help people through the hard things of marriage are very tips and technique-y. You know, remember her birthday, bring flowers, you know, practice this, you know, tips for communication. And some of that can be helpful, but you'll ignore the core stuff if you ignore the heart. That marriage is the meeting of two hearts and the navigating of two hearts. And as you guys understand and navigate her heart, this is about her heart. Right? And the restoration of her heart. And ladies, as you learn his heart and the restoration of his heart, we're in this to be advocates of each other's hearts. And I just think if we could frame it like that, it will help.
It will. That's so important. It's a holy terrain. You are given access to your spouse's heart like no one else. You will know them like no one else, what they really love, what they really don't love, what they say behind closed doors. And so you want to tread on that kindly. One thing that I wanted to say was just that it's okay to say that it's hard. Marriage has seasons that are very hard. And to pull back the curtain on that and say, that's okay. That's not an earthquake. That doesn't mean you never should have married this person. It just means you're in a season that's hard.
Right.
Because it's worth it. The pursuing of another's heart, to be an advocate for them, to be partnering with God towards their restoration and your own, that can be difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so to be honest, we've walked to the brink twice. Around our second year. Mm-hmm. And around our 10th anniversary, we were both ready to be done. Ready to just say this isn't worth it. Mm-hmm. It's not working.
Right. Too painful.
Irreconcilable. Can't overcome. And we did. And we can also say marriage is great. Like, yes, marriage is hard. And yes, we've seen some hard times. But marriage is also wonderful. Like, I love being married. Marriage is awesome.
Yes. Yes, yay! It's totally worth fighting for
Yeah.
through. Because marriage is actually a picture to the world of the unity that is experienced in the Trinity, the love that flows around the Trinity, that oneness. Marriage is meant to be a picture to the world of how that can be in human relationships. Like, there is a high and holy calling to marriage. It wouldn't be so hard if it didn't matter so much.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So, a couple thoughts. There probably is some forgiveness needed. We hurt each other. A lot of times unintentionally, just clueless as to the moment or what one another needed or what the expectations were, or we let family shape the marriage or something happened, right? And so just forgiveness. There probably is nothing more wonderful and healing in a marriage than just practicing forgiveness.
Right.
Even before they ask.
It was Ruth Bell who said that a good marriage is the union of two forgivers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's really critical. Something else that's critical is each individual pursuing their life with God. Individually seeking Him first. So often in our marriage we can look to the other person. You can fill my cup. You tell me everything that I need to know, and it is our place to encourage one another, to speak the truth to each other, speak life. But first and primarily, we need to be pursuing our life with God.
Okay, this is huge. David Wilcox has this great song called Break in the Cup. I try so hard to please you, be the love that fills you up, right? But something seems to be broken. I think you've got a broken cup. And then he just admits all of us have a broken cup, that love just doesn't stay, right? And we can't be enough for each other. There is no way you will ever be enough for your spouse. You have to have God. The kindest thing you can do to another human being is to have a real relationship with God, because he's your core and your first, and he's meeting you, and therefore it takes the pressure off. Like, you can be disappointed and it's not devastating.
And he can be disappointed in you and it's not devastating.
Right. Things can just be okay for a while, and it's not a big deal because you have God.
Yeah.
And when things do get hard, you have God. You have his resources, you have his love, you have his life, to help you in that.
Yeah.
So that's forgiveness, God.
Be willing to seek your own healing. Like a marriage is only as strong as the weakest link. So many in marriage, and yes, go, if I could just fix him, or if I could just fix her, if she would get her act together, it would be so much better. And the truth is you can pray for that. You pray for your spouse and for their healing and their restoration. But the one that you can really pursue and have control over is your own.
Yeah.
So seeking your own healing, seeking your own restoration is really the priority.
And Stacey, you said something earlier, and John, you said something in the beginning about having agreements in our marriage. And you kind of mentioned, I married the wrong person. And frankly, I lived with that for 15 years. From about the second month of our marriage till year 15. That was to the core
That'll
of my
devastate
being.
a marriage.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. Praise God, broke it.
Yes.
And an unbelievable marriage today.
Yeah.
But what are some others? Because not all of them are always that insidious. They can be, and that's a big, but give some examples of maybe agreements you guys have maybe battled with, or ones that you've heard of couples that, because I think sometimes when we can speak these, all of a sudden it strikes in someone's heart going, oh my goodness, I believe that and didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. So even an agreement as simple as, they'll never understand me. She doesn't understand me, or he doesn't appreciate me. The problem is it becomes the filter through which you experience the relationship. Once you start making agreements about your spouse or agreements about your marriage, then it becomes a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense that all the data seems to confirm it. That look on her face, the fact that he forgot that you guys were having your folks to dinner, or then it's all just proving the agreement to be true. It would be phenomenal to ask God to reveal to you, what are the agreements I have been making about my marriage, or marriage generally, or what are the agreements I've been making about, my spouse, about them, right? And to let God surface that. You might be surprised what's down there. It'll never get better.
Right, ugh.
Right? What else?
I will never be enough. They will always be disappointed in me. And here's the thing. It's so important to ask God what the agreements are, and then to break them.
Break them.
Break them. And here's the deal. They're going to feel true.
Yeah.
They're
That's
not
why
easy
they're
to break.
agreements.
Yeah, it's like, but I'm not making an agreement. This is reality. This is how it is.
Yeah.
Break agreements with it, and you will be amazed at the life that God can blow through and invigorate with. What you said about it becomes the lens through which you experience your marriage. Have that lens come away, and then you can begin to experience marriage in a brand new way.
Right.
Wow.
I think with that, because we're talking about agreements, you have to talk about the fact that your marriage has an enemy.
Yes.
The evil one hates marriage. And he hates God, and he hates love, and he hates redemption and good. And anywhere that there is goodness flourishing, he hates it. And so, man, it is such an epiphany. It is a game changer the day that you realize, wait a second, there's not just two of us in the room. Somebody else is here putting in accusations or feelings or bringing in misunderstanding or even betrayal. And he's all over it, and he throws gas on the fire. There may be a legitimate personal issue. There may be. But then he just dumps, fuel on it and makes it explode to something far bigger. It changed our marriage the day that we finally recognized our marriage is under spiritual attack.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my gosh, it changed everything. When we realized that it wasn't just the two of us in the room, but there was actually, for us, that first revelation was a spirit of accusation, where neither one of us felt like we could ever be good enough or that they were ever good enough. And it wasn't true. And first off, we had to admit it and have the conversation out loud. And then to unitedly pray against it, break agreements with it, command that spirit to leave. Wow.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
You're
What I will say, and once again, they are way too humble to always push some of these things, but they wrote a book called Love and War, and then there's a DVD series that goes through. This was game-changing for Amy and I, and we've now taken dozens of couples through Love and War. And what I would say is get the book, absolutely read it. But beyond that, get the DVD series and grab 2, 3, 4 other couples. Grab your community group, grab your life group, grab some others, and go through this and be open, honest, and transparent, because you're not alone. Marriage is hard. And if the Eldredges struggle in it, I promise you, you've probably had a struggle or two in your time too. And so grab some people, go through it, and just make it a priority. I heard a guy one time he basically said that my marriage began to suffer when it was no longer a priority. And so where we put our heart to is where we put our time and attention and effort. And he stopped giving it to his marriage, and guess what? His marriage suffered. And so make this a priority. And Stasi even said something behind the scenes earlier that has to be God first, and then it goes to getting healing in your spouse. And so if it's not in that order, do something today to put it back in order and get it right with God. So thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing.
You're
welcome.
So worth it.
Yeah, let me add one last thing. We laugh a lot now.
Oh, yeah.
I want to just tell you, there's hope, there's goodness. We crack each other up. Things crack us up mutually behind closed doors. We get to talk about people. We get to talk about stuff. We laugh a lot now. There's hope, gang.